podcast.
This is an audio medium where we talk about things.
Can we make it, instead of a podcast, it's like a long song where we sing the entire thing?
No. So into the podcast. I fully doubt my ability to handle that. I don't think I can do it.
I think we can give it a try at some point. Do the musical version. The Protagonist seat musical.
The Protagonist seat. The stage musical.
Actually, with anime always getting stage plays, that's the natural evolution of this. The Protagonist seat, the stage play.
So when
two people playing us that just sit at a table in front of a computer.
If we ever do a live performance, it has to be a stage play format. It has to be. This is canon now.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. The stage play is coming.
Yeah, so get ready. This is the Protagonist seat. I'm Alex. That's Ian. The stage play is currently in production.
In production as we speak. I'm writing the plot for it as we continue through this episode.
But for now, we're just gonna, talk about the 10 shows that we're watching. See how we're feeling about those.
And we should start with a holdover from last season, a franchise that we both very adore. Fate Grand Order Absolute Demonia Babel's Feet.
I don't know how Ian's feeling about the franchise right now. Currently, though, after his Jalter rolls.
I was real mad.
He got 2 of the Cursed Trinity.
I got 2 of the literal worst servants in the game because I guess Fate just likes to spit in my face. Let's hope it doesn't carry up that luck when Scotty comes out, because I'll be real pissed.
But anyway,
this is the phone game, because we're talking about...
Yeah, we're talking about the anime based off of the phone game.
Holy shit, it all loops around, it's all connected, guys.
So this episode's Special Operation Marduk Blitz.
Yeah, that's actually what it's called. They're gonna storm the Blood Fort.
And they're gonna basically come up with a plan where they need the axe of Marduk, the axe of Marmaduke, the dog. So they need the axe of Marmaduke.
He's so big, he just gets on everything.
Nah, Marmaduke doesn't show up till Shinjuku.
Yeah, Marmaduke next servant when?
So they need the axe to get there, but it's massive. So the only person that could get it there is Quetzalcoatl.
And she can't carry it either because that shit is too heavy. They can't use the flying demon things because they'll just get shot down.
They come up with the idea to maybe she could just throw it at the Blood Fort, but she can't because she's part of the Three Goddess Alliance, and if she does, that's breaking the pact.
And she'll die. She has basically a Gios against her.
So Merlin comes up with a plan. He's like, how about you just throw it to me? Because that's...
What if I stand in front of the fort and then you throw it to me?
Well, he tells her, throw it to me, I'll be over by the fort, and I'll take care of the rest. And she's like, all right.
Sure, what could possibly go wrong? And in my head, I'm like, that's... Guys, this is Merlin we're talking about.
And everyone has their, kind of goodbye moments because they're like, hey, this is going to be our last battle.
This is going to be the end of the singularity, guys. Holy shit.
But it's not.
It's not. Well, we know it's not because we played the phone game.
And this is episode 14, so of course it's not.
Yeah. Because why would it end at a weird number like that? That's weird.
So they end up traveling, and Ritsuka has a conversation with Merlin about...
I liked it a lot.
Where Merlin's just kind of like, yeah, I don't like to talk about myself, so if I do, I normally lie or kind of dodge the subject. But you know what? I'm bored, so... You can ask me one question, and I'll answer it.
I'm bored and I like you, kid, so you get one question.
And it's not even a good question he asks.
Yeah, he asks, why?
Why you helping Gilgamesh?
That's a lame-ass question.
And he's like, because me and him both like humans. We think they're interesting.
But in different ways.
It's like, Gilgamesh likes to be sort of like the one to keep watch over humans and judge their worth, kind of like a scale, where I just kind of like to spectate from the outside.
I'm on spectator mode. I just like to watch the world go by.
He wants to see things that humans create. I kind of want to see the end of humanity.
But I want it to be a happy end, because I like those kinds of movies. And we're like, whoa, that's a meta moment. And he's like, nah, it's not.
And then there's a bunch of stuff with Anna and the old lady with the flowers, but I never really cared about any of that.
No. I thought it was kind of heartwarming, but other than that, it doesn't really add anything to anything. It just kind of is.
It's just like, look how nice Anna is compared to Gorgon. It's almost like she's the good version and Gorgon is the bad version.
Almost.
Like
but
they're the same person or something.
even though they both have purple hair and they're Gorgon, and we know that she's just Lancer Medusa.
Yeah.
I spoiled it. Oh no, guys.
It's a character from Fate's Day Night.
Yeah, oh
How could
shit.
you not see this coming?
She only looks basically exactly the same. Oh no.
She has the same voice actress and everything.
Yeah, it's kind of not subtle.
Yeah.
It's kind of not subtle.
So they do the thing where they get to the Blood Fort, and Enkidu shows up to the northern wall to fight Quetzalcoatl.
Because everyone else is gonna hold off the demons and distract them. Fighting battles.
Yeah, and Quetzalcoatl does some lucha moves to Enkidu.
It's great. I actually love the servant fights are always a lot of fun. Watching Quetzalcoatl just like suplex people is amazing. It's the greatest thing of all time.
And then she ends up throwing the axe. She makes it look like she's trying to hit Enkidu with it, but nope.
Nope, she misses. And Enkidu is all smug and shit about it. He's like, you can't kill me with that big of a weapon.
Wait a second.
Oh no, I figured out your plan at the last possible moment.
And it goes and it hits, Merlin has the staff relocate it to hit the Blood Fort.
I love the shit out of this.
Yeah, where he's like, oops, my hand slipped.
Basically, his plan is like, hey, if you tie this ribbon from my staff around the bottom of the axe of Marduk, they'll be linked and you can throw it to me real easy. And you see it coming at him, and everyone's like, all right, Merlin, now's the time for the plan, Merlin. Now's the time for the plan, Merlin. And he's like, whoops, and he throws his staff in front of the Blood Fort, and you know what? The axe hits the Blood Fort, just full dead on.
And then Quetzalcoatl gets zapped because turns out Merlin sort of lied about how the whole thing would work, so she does still take damage from it.
Yeah,
and
but she's not dead.
Yeah, she loses a lot of her divinity, though, so her power level is dropped.
Everyone's power level drops for the ending fights.
Yeah.
Because destroying huge chunks of the Blood Fort reduces Gorgon's divinity as well.
Yeah, and then they go inside the Blood Fort, and...
The Blood Fort!
Then Gorgon pops up, and they're gonna fight her next week.
Yeah, they're like, Gorgon, you're shitty. And she's like, yeah, but people are shitty too, so I'm gonna blow them up. And Ritsuka is like, that's not cool.
And then Anna basically takes off the weights.
Yeah, she takes off her Rock Lee ankle weights.
Yeah, and then she is like, I'll use my mystic eyes now.
Yeah, so it's going to be a Mystic Eyes battle, kind of. But a little bit.
Yeah. And then we'll be on to the latter half after next week's fight.
Yeah. Oh shit, we're on to part 2 soon. But you know what else we're on?
Yeah, we are just getting started.
We are just getting started with Demon School. Welcome to Demon School, Aruma-kun.
So it's the Battler Festival. Everything's going great. Everyone's having a good time.
Having a good time, having a ball. Don't stop me now, 'cause I'm gonna blow up the school with domestic terrorism.
So Kiryu, I think that's his name.
Yeah. His last name's weird, 'cause it's like Kiryu.
Kiryu, yeah.
Kiryu.
Amy
is much easier.
Amy decides he's gonna blow up the school, and he takes the
He takes the shell.
Yeah, because they accidentally at one point they're messing around with the fireworks launcher that they got, and Clara actually lights it.
Because they're figuring out who's gonna light it, and Iruma's like, I don't want to do that. Clara can do it, and Asmodeus is like, I'm not gonna let that fucking space ass, green haired, just spacey bitch do it.
Yeah.
And then she actually lights it and proves that she should not be entrusted with lighting it.
And then they realize, the shell's missing. Oh, man, where's Senpai? We gotta go find him.
Both the shell and Amy are gone.
And Iruma doesn't think to go check that super secret room he found out about recently.
Yeah, which is...
It's like, man, I looked in the club room. I looked in the cafeteria.
I looked in the library. I don't know where he is.
And they're all like, where is he? And then he... is recalling it's a flashback from the senpai remembering his times with I think his name's Ball.
Yeah
Ball, who's one of the I guess bad guys on like the demon council. He is like, you know what, more demons should be like you smile but you're rotten inside. And he's looking over the school from his little vantage point, and he destroys his choker.
And that, you know what? He releases his ankle weights, too.
Yeah, because now the whole school is put in little, like, glass boxes.
Which confused me a little bit, because, like...
And everyone's like, there's invisible walls everywhere.
Whoa, what the fuck?
What's happening?
If only we knew someone whose power was invisible barriers. But it's like... Okay, so their plan is to blow up this school, I guess. Why? Why would he put the barriers everywhere? So
people can't escape, but now you don't have them all concentrated into one spot?
Yeah, because it's not like there's one cohesive barrier around the school. There's like just a fuck ton of little ones everywhere.
Because his boss even said to him, he's like, yeah, the more casualties, the better.
You know what would be great for casualties? Separating everyone in small protective boxes.
Yeah.
This plan doesn't feel very well thought out, and part of me wonders if he's gonna do like the I did it to protect the school instead, so everyone could see how cool fireworks are.
Yeah, because they had that whole thing with a roommate at the end, like, let's trust in Senpai.
Yeah, which doesn't seem like a good idea to me.
But we'll see what happens.
There's also a little bit where everyone's walking around and enjoying the festival, and you see everyone's battler stuff, and her roommate's a lot of stuff. And Sabnok actually proves to me that he's the chillest rival.
He is.
Sabnok is great. I would want him to be my rival.
Yeah.
Because he's just a chill-ass dude. But anyway, let's move on to some new stuff.
Darwin's game, Battle Royale.
You know what everyone loves these days? Battle Royale.
Everyone was like Fortnite dancing this episode.
Fucking, the main character just dabs super hard on someone.
Anyway, they're in a Battle Royale, and
we learn the rules. Basically, there's 300 rings spread around this area, which means...
Only 100 people can actually win.
Yeah, because everyone needs to get 3.
Yeah.
So, what they do... Actually, it's probably less, because I'd imagine it's spread out. But whatever, that's not important right now. So, he figures out his surroundings a little bit more. He's in this big hotel tower, essentially just smack dab right in the middle.
Shane Girl's outside, and apparently she's killed like 98 people or something, they mentioned.
Because she's the biggest badass ever. She gets 6 rings almost immediately, and she's like, man, I wonder why he's not answering his phone. He's probably fine. He's probably got like 100 rings by now.
Yeah, and he's by himself with just the one he found under the bed in the hotel room, and then after some dude with like... basically a skull mask, like a helmet, like basic body armor and like an assault rifle.
Some dude who looks like he came out of PUBG fucking shows up. Full body armor, a machine-ass gun.
Yeah, and he holds his gun up to him and he's like, wait, don't shoot, I'll just give you the ring. And he's like, I was gonna take it anyway. He's like, but you have a gun on you. Shouldn't someone with a gun expect to get shot?
Yeah, he's very edgy. He's edgy soldier, man.
And then he realizes, like, the kid's about to pee himself and he's like, hey, you know what? You're not even worth killing.
You're not worth the bullets.
Oh, wait, no, because his gun jams, and so the main character goes and he points his gun at him. He's like, go ahead, take the shot.
Do it.
And then
shoot me.
He's like, I guess there are some people like that. People that can't pull the trigger.
Part of me kind of figured that he was going to, like, actually shoot him, but he was going to shoot him in the chest where he's got that body armor on, and it just wasn't going to do anything.
He looks like the guy in the opening, too, which is why I'm like, I think this guy joins the party.
Me too.
Because
his body armor is exactly the same. He carries the exact same weapon.
Yeah, so this guy goes down the elevator, and then he runs across little sniper girl, who is also from the opening.
Yeah, she does join the party this episode.
Everyone's got, like, code names and stuff, like how the chain girl is, like, undefeated queen. The little girl with the sniper rifles known as Analyst.
Analyst, that's what it was. I was trying to think of it.
Yeah, and so he's like, hey, why aren't you, like, afraid of me? And she's like, because I already saw, like, the data on you, and I don't think you're going to shoot me.
Yeah.
Because you don't seem like that type of person.
You have 3 wins and 0 kills, so I'm not too frightened right now.
And they agree to form an alliance to get out of here, and they realize after they start going down that people are covered in sort of like vines and stuff, so it must be the sigil of one of the users here.
Yeah, and
Analyst girl is like the one who basically figures out, she's like, there's someone known as the Florist.
Yeah, I wonder if this place that's full of deadly plants is containing the Florist, a man whose power is plants.
And they realize, there's some people coming up here. Wait a second.
Because actually, I I'll give our main boy a little bit of credit. He's like, how come if that dude was dead in the elevator, because we see the dude in the OP.
We didn't see his graffiti outline.
Yeah. He's like, how come the bodies haven't disappeared? And she's like, I don't know, it takes a little bit. And he's like, yeah, it doesn't sound right to me. Turns out we got plant zombies. It's plant zombie time.
Also, so we're gonna fight plant zombies next week, and he also realizes, he's like, wait, how are they finding us? The security cameras. So the florist is using plant zombies while he's hiding in the control room watching everyone through the cameras.
Which is pretty clever.
Yeah.
We also see...
this whole thing is like a sporting event for, like, bettors.
Yeah.
Like, people are watching, like, in this ritzy, like, fancy, like, hotel area where they're like, oh, yes, I want to put my money on so-and-so, yes. She's the best player on this server.
We get the totally unexpected, totally just 100% out of nowhere trope where it turns out the death game is run by the bourgeoisie.
Yep, bourgeoisie death games.
Also, we see that the main guy copies the gun. He copies the big gun.
Yeah. He copies it. He hasn't used it yet,
though. He hasn't pulled it out yet. I'm assuming that when he does, he's going to get his shit rocked because he's a high schooler.
Yeah.
That's a fully automatic machine gun. But anyway, we'll see more death games next week, and hopefully we'll be able to see, like, actual combat, because that's fun.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
It's always fun.
That's always fun.
Let's just watch some killing.
Let's just watch some killing.
Come on.
So...
Get out of my stall.
Get out of my... That's it. That's the new bit for it. Hanako-kun, the toilet ghost.
Yep. Hanako-kun, the friendly ghost.
Hanako, the friendly toilet ghost. It turns out he's just having his little human assistant clean the bathrooms.
I guess if you live there, you're going to want it to be clean.
And if you're incorporeal, it's kind of hard to do it yourself.
And she's, of course, like, but this guy from class, he invited me to hang out after school to essentially staple paperwork for him while he leaves early.
Yeah, because he has things to do. But it's fine. We're friends. Yeah, we're totally friends.
It's getting there.
And
he's just shy.
And our ghosty buddy, because he's not an irrational person, is like, I think he's just using you. I think he might just be using you.
And then they figure out that Oliver, like, while she's in class, her stuff goes missing, and a bunch of people, all their stuff is going missing.
Yeah, it turns out weird shit's been missing around school lately.
And they find out about another school rumor about a creature that ends up stealing your stuff, and if you look at it, it'll kill you.
Mr. something, whose name I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember it. But anyway, so she finds a trail while she's walking in the old school building, because it's always the old school building.
Of course.
Yeah. And
that's where all of the fun things happen.
She finds a trail of all the missing items, which leads her right to the monster. And then she looks at it, and it's about to kill her when, of course, Ghost Boy shows up. Because
of course he does. And if you were going to be surprised at him showing up at this point, we got some bad news for you, bud.
And then he shows up, he beats the monster, and it turns out it's a bunch of little rabbit things that kind of form into the big monster.
Yeah, they're like harmless spirits that just kind of bum around and like to do little pranks.
Yeah, and they like to collect things.
Unfortunately, though, ghosts and spirits and all that fun stuff are bound by their rumors.
Yeah, so the rumor over time has changed to make it more murderous, and if they don't want to disappear, they have to act more like their rumor.
Yeah, so...
He asked her, hey, can you change the rumor for these? I'm a ghost, so I can't, and I don't really want to have to kill these little guys, so...
I'm a ghost, so I can't. I feel like that's going to be a recurring theme. Can you do this for me? I'm a ghost.
But she agrees to do it because, you know what, she feels bad for the little creatures.
They're
and
cute.
Hanako saved her, so she wants to, help him out.
And they offered her candy.
Yeah.
Also, turns out that's kind of Hanako's job. He's the watcher of the other school rumors.
Yeah, he's the guardian of the school.
So she goes around and she does. She's like, hey, it'll get you. But if you got these on you, and she hands out candy to people, if you got these on you, you can offer it up and it'll be just fine. He'll fuck off.
And then they're like, oh, and then she fixes the rumor, and that's part 1 of the episode.
Yes.
And then the B plot, we find out that the boy she liked in the first episode is actually
He's a little extra.
Yeah, he's a little extra. So she's hanging out on the roof with Hanako, and all of a sudden he shows up, he's like, ha-ha, you damn apparition. I am here to exorcise you.
And he's got an umbrella with, like, the priest jingly staff end.
Yeah, it turns out he's a member of the Minamoto clan.
He is a big fancy exorcist from a long line of big fancy exorcists, and he's here to exorcise the ghost.
Yep, so he immediately goes to, like, hit Hanako with his staff, and Hanako grabs it, and he's just like, are you really trying to hurt me with that? And he's like, fool!
Ha! You've activated my trap card.
And
he
it zaps him. Yep.
And then Hanako goes full Super Saiyan mode.
Well, before he does, he's about to go hit him,
yeah.
but when then Yashiro steps in the way, and he's just like, apparently he gets really flustered by her, and he's like, that's a monster. I have to kill that.
Yeah, I gotta fight the evil spirits.
And she's like, no, he's not evil. He even saved me.
He's a good ghost. He's a good ghost who likes good things.
And he's like, but he carries around a knife. He's clearly someone who's murdered somebody.
Yeah. He's an evil spirit that even my grandmother had trouble fully locking away.
And then Hanako goes his super mode where he gets like a cool cloak and stuff.
Hanako gets his Super Saiyan form where he gets a jacket.
And then he goes to hit him with the staff again, and he grabs it and he's like, you just don't learn, do you? But this time it doesn't do anything.
Well, it does. It burns his hand a little bit because we see later, we see post-fight, there's a shot where he's got his hands behind his back and one of his palms is all marked up. But turns out this staff is also hurting our exorcist boy.
Because he can't fully control it.
Turns out when you can't fully control magical artifacts, they're kind of dangerous.
So Hanako takes it and he puts a seal over it to keep him from using it, and then he punches him in the gut.
Yep. Down in one punch.
And she's like, was that really necessary? And he's like, I don't think he would stop unless I did that, but a guy like him's probably not going to be down that long, so I think he'll be okay.
He'll be fine. But I want to keep him around just because I like the excitement.
Yeah. So now he's got like a rival character.
The rival has arrived.
Yeah.
You know what doesn't have a rival?
Hatena illusion, kind of, actually.
Yeah, it's got like the other girl who's also kind of irritating. I also noticed that this episode, the artwork was looking a little rough.
Yeah, I sent you the Snapchat of like the background actors, like,
yeah.
People are looking not as bad as Price of Smiles background characters, but
it's getting there.
Episode 2 is a bad time to flounder. Yeah, episode 2 is the worst time to like crumble in the art department.
Yeah, it doesn't bode very well. And I noticed that even a lot of the art with like the animation with the main characters and conversations is a little sketchy.
Yeah. But other than that, the episode was fine.
Yeah.
So she starts out sneaking into his room and fails spectacularly.
Because of course she does.
Like, she's an awful thief.
She's terrible at it. She was talking to herself out loud whilst committing a robbery with another person in the room.
Yeah.
I get it that he's sleeping, but you can't do that.
Yeah, and she ends up getting caught, obviously, so they all sit down in the kitchen and have an explanation of...
They exposit.
Yeah. Her mom is a actual mage, which we basically figured.
Yeah. Basically, her family is known for making magical artifacts, and they decided that they were going to sell them to people who wanted them.
Yeah, but the mom didn't agree with it, so she snuck away, and now she tries to steal the artifacts back.
Yeah, that's her shtick, and she's been gone for a while now, and everyone's just kind of chilling out waiting for her.
Mm-hmm.
We also learned that we learned that later. So basically, they exposit, and then they go to school.
Yep, and then it turns out the maid is actually a student there. She's their senpai, and also the student council president, where I'm like, how does she have the time?
Yeah, I don't...
Because I feel like being a maid is very, like...
It's very demanding.
Yeah.
Especially when it's just her and the butler.
Yeah, and that's a big-ass mansion.
It is a big-ass mansion.
And being student council president is also, I imagine, very demanding.
You know what? One would think. Also, I was very surprised by this because she looks like she's 27 in the maid costume.
Yeah, and then she switches outfits, and I'm like, oh, I guess I could see her being a high schooler.
I guess.
Like, last year of high school.
And I think she is, actually, because I think she's 2 years.
Yeah, she's like a third year, because Japanese high school is only 3 years.
Yeah. So they go to school, and they learn all kinds of things about school people.
Yeah, you meet some side characters.
You meet the boys.
Yeah, some like... They're all just like, hey, I'm wondering if I can join this circle. They just like all walk in and are like, I guess we're a group of friends now.
We're all boys.
By the way, let me exposit that this used to be an all-girls school, so this is going to be the boys' circle.
We're gonna be the boys' circle. Let's not let's not.
Should we have anyone else join our circle? Nah, those guys had derpy faces.
Those guys didn't have good art.
Yeah.
They weren't distinctive enough.
We're the only guys with distinctive faces around here.
And you know what? They are. Unless you
Actually,
count...
the dude in the back, like the really tall guy, was like,
Unless you count busted-ass background characters as distinctive.
Yeah, and then the next part of the episode is, well, him and Hatena sit down and talk, and Hatena almost accidentally reveals her artifact to everyone else.
Because she's just wholly incompetent. But then Makoto is like, ha, no, I did that, because
apparently
magic.
Every artifact has a price, too, where hers raises her body temperature.
I think it's kind of interesting, but I don't see that really going anywhere.
Yeah, and then the girl from their school, who's like Hatena's friend/rival, shows up, and apparently she has a thing where she can just show up whenever she wants, tear through their house trying to find an artifact, and if she guesses the correct name of the artifact and binds it to her, she can keep it, because it's a weird deal she has with the mom.
Yeah, which doesn't seem like a smart idea, but, like, what are the odds?
Also, she tears apart the entire house.
Literally everything. She picks up a bookend and is just shouting names at this bookend because she's convinced that it's an artifact.
Yeah.
So you know what? Maybe that's a safer bet than first assumed.
Yeah, it's a big waste of time.
It is.
But, yeah, apparently now, like, I think there's going to be, like, because her bodyguard lady seemed kind of, like, villain-esque.
Yeah.
Like, she's, like, there to steal an artifact, so I'm assuming we're going to turn into kind of like a battle series.
Probably.
Where we fight the people trying to steal the artifacts, also try to steal I don't know what we're going to be doing.
Yeah, who knows what this series is going to be.
I don't know yet.
You know what series we do know is going to be, because it's just very on the nose.
Somali and the Forest Pirates. We know it's about piracy.
Yeah.
On the African coast.
And the Forest Pirates 2, Dead Man's Chest. So this episode, they meet some Oni.
Yep.
Oni-da.
Some Oni that have a little hut in the woods, and they stay with them for a little bit. And this is where we learn the deal with Otosan. He has only a year and I think like 133 days left.
Yeah, because golems live exactly 1,000 years.
Yep, and he is pretty much in his last stretch.
Yeah.
Which is why his goal is to find Somali's parents, or basically humans, just to take her in before he runs out of time.
Here, take this fucking kid before I die. Are you her parents? No?
And
Too bad.
They do a little bit of maintenance on him to try to, like, patch him up because they see his cracks and stuff are really showing.
The Oni wants to look at his body and basically get some golem data for more medicinal purposes in exchange for teaching the golem how to basically make medicine. And that's kind of the lead up to.
And that is pretty interesting, like a golem learning to make medicine, because of course he doesn't need it for himself. Like, why would a golem need it? They don't. Yeah.
He doesn't give a shit.
But he's pulling dad duties.
He's pulling dad duties. We also get a lot of scenes where Somali is running around doing errands. She's helping the Oni with their errands.
Just being adorable.
Just being an adorable kid.
And once again, this show is just still this is the best artistic direction out of all the shows in this. It just oozes storybook fantasy.
It is pretty as fuck. Like, holy shit.
Like, their hut just looks so cozy.
It does. They have the coziest hut I've ever seen. This forest looks just super pleasant. Because he asks the Oni why they moved out there, and my reaction was like, why the fuck wouldn't you? Like, look at how pretty this forest is. And it's not full of any dangerous creatures either. It's just like antlered bunny rabbits and birds.
Why are more people not trying to eat up this real estate?
Why are more people not trying to move out into the forest?
But
guys, let's move into the forest.
This is an episode we have seen before at Anime New York, which we have seen up till episode 3, so after next week, it'll all be new to us.
One more episode of retreaded territory, and then we
And it's not a bad retread.
No, it's very easy to look at, so it's fine. So we should probably move on.
Show by Rock. So I didn't think we were gonna actually improve off of that first episode.
I didn't either, and I was very surprised.
Yeah, the second episode was actually better. I thought this was gonna be the okay kind of pad the list, teeter on the edge the whole time show, but that was a good second episode.
I thought it was hilarious.
So she ends up thanking them for helping her out with the whole audition thing, and they're sitting around having French fries together.
Eating all them French fries and drinking that cola.
And they end up parting ways, and the blonde chick goes off to go home by herself, and the rest of them are like, hey, you should meet our manager.
Yeah, you know what? We'll show you around. We'll show you some cool stuff. We'll take you to our favorite recording studio.
And they go to the recording studio, and they see the boss guy just lying in, like, a pool of, like, red liquid, which is clearly hot sauce.
Yeah, there's even a hot sauce bottle lying next to him.
But the wolf girl is like, this is a case. And she immediately puts on, instead of, like, you know, like a plastic glove, she puts on a big paw.
She takes one of the covers off of her drumsticks and puts it on her hand, and... All right, guys, at first I was like, okay, it's got to be Panther Girl is best girl. Wolf Girl has just skyrocketed to the top in this episode. It is so good.
And she's fully, like putting together, like, a case. She's like, I forget the twin-tailed girl, or the pigtails girl's name, the Yellow Swirls.
Yeah.
But, like, she's like, I think Yellow must have murdered her uncle.
She must have come in here after the French fries, beat him with her guitar, and left.
Like, think about it. It's his favorite bento was here. She enticed him to lower his guard with his favorite food, and then she struck.
That's
why she was paying so much attention to the time, when she just wanted to go home and watch a TV show specifically.
Yeah.
But they're like,
I can finally watch it live this week.
They're like, she seemed nervous, like she had to be out at a specific time, because that's when the perfect opportunity for the murder was.
She puts her hand in the, with heavy air quotes, blood, because they pick him up, put him on a table, and put a chalk outline where he was lying down. She puts her hand there, and she's like, I need to use my phantasmal memory vision to figure out what happened here. This turns into a full-on ass detective series episode with Ryuhyu the psychic wolf detective, and it's amazing.
Yeah, they're going around to all the places that she possibly could have bought things from, and it's mostly just them looking at CDs, buying food.
Yeah, she had to have come to this CD shop. Oh my God! Look at this super rare CD, guys.
Oh, that's a limited edition.
Oh.
But anyway, she bought that in order to give to him as a gift because she knew it would make him drop his guard.
It's so good.
And then at the end, they find out the truth where, of course, it was just really hot sauce.
It was hot sauce so hot, he passed out. That's how hot this hot sauce was, guys. That's some hot-ass sauce.
And I actually like the B plot, too, where our main character... Our main character ends up, because she's from the countryside, so she doesn't really have a place to stay, so she thinks it's just okay to go to a public park and, pitch a tent and start a fire.
That's what I had been wondering about the whole time. Like, where is she gonna stay? Turns out her plan was to sleep in the park under a tent.
Yeah, in winter.
In winter.
Yeah.
And it's also, within view of yellow-haired girl's...
Yeah, and of course she walks by, and she's just like, what is she doing? And then she comes back and she sees a police officer there, yeah, you can't do that.
You can't light a fire here.
And you can't squat either.
Yeah, you can't. You gotta take down the tent.
So it's raining, and she ends up, instead, wrapping her tent around her and sleeping under the slide.
And I was like, oh, come on, man. Stop it. Stop! You're making me feel bad.
And then the yellow, haired girl shows up with an umbrella, and she's like, "What are you doing?"
Why are you doing this?
And she's obviously invites her to just come into her house.
You can crash at my place. It's across the street, because of course it is.
And she ends up staying over, and she finds out that we learn more about yellow-haired girl, where it turns out she's like, do you like anything? She's like, well, I like music. Well,
music's pretty cool, I guess.
And then she was like, oh, that CD, that's a really cool CD. And we find out she's a huge music nerd, where she goes on oh yeah, let me talk about the history of that band and stuff and the production history.
I love how she says, she speaks in simple one-line sentences until our main character brings up the one CD and she's like, yo, this is so like the melodies they use, they really just speak to the audience, you know? And she's like, wow, holy shit, you really do like music, don't you?
And they end up she ends up letting her sleep in her bed while she sleeps on the futon on the floor.
She also offers to let her borrow CDs, and I was like, all right, hold up a sec.
She sleeps in the park.
She came here with a tent and nothing else. She's not going to be able to listen to those CDs. This is ill thought out.
And they end up going to sleep, and she's just like, I can't sleep.
Pigtail Girl actually gives her the bed. Fox Girl the bed. And I was like, that's sweet.
And then she gets up and, like, sleepwalks to the bathroom, like, and it, like, scares her.
Like, what the fuck? And she comes back and just sits down with her tail right next to Pigtail's face.
Yep, and then she ends up, like, going, like, why is she actually, this is a really fluffy tail, because, of course, the law of fluffy tail.
The law of fluffy tail always survives.
Yep, so she falls asleep, cuddling her fluffy tail, and then she wakes up the next day, and her guest has basically made breakfast for her.
Hey, in order to repay you for letting me sleep in your house, here's breakfast.
And it turns out this is the most delicious thing she's had in a long time.
Country girl can cook.
So she decides, like, they meet up with the other band members, and they're like, yeah, so we're going to be roommates from now on.
Roommates? Ba-da-bow.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's nice. I didn't think they were in the show even going to bother showing, like, what they do outside of the music stuff.
Me neither. This show is surprisingly in-depth.
Yeah, it's competent.
It is a lot more competent than first expected. Especially since upon first seeing the town, my gut was like, this town looks like something out of Elite Beat Agents.
Yeah.
This is so weird, but it seems surprisingly fleshed out. Good job, guys. You're a lot more competent than we gave you credit.
Seton Academy.
Another show that is surprisingly more competent than I gave it credit for.
So, they started the cooking club, and they have a new girl join them, Panda.
Koala.
Oh, sorry, Koala, yeah. Koala, and she wants to join the cooking club.
They do the trial for Wolf Girl, and then Koala Girl just shows up.
Yeah,
and
she's just there. And they're like, why are you here? And she's like, I want to join the cooking club because all we eat is, like, eucalyptus, and I'm really sick of eucalyptus.
I could use some variety in life.
And she's like, I'm searching for the dish I had when I was younger, and my mom won't tell me what it was. But I remember there was another dish I had.
And I want to have it again.
So he decides to end up giving her a really hard trial because she ends up doing this thing where she's like, oh, she's talking to the other human girl. Aren't you upset that wolf is stealing your man?
Oh, no, we're not dating.
Oh,
no.
so they're like an interspecies couple.
No.
And then he gets mad. He's like, I gotta get this koala out of here. So he has the wolf girl make. He's like, you know what? Make whatever you want. He's like, but I kind of need you to. She's like, I need you to guide me through this. And he's like, no. With love, you can cook anything. And he just lets her go crazy.
The level of bullshit is amazing, and it's great.
And so he lets her cook, and she ends up making an abomination. It's like censored. You can't even see it.
It is the worst thing ever.
And he's like,
it is compared to shit.
He's like, in this club, we all love each other very much, meaning we'll eat anybody's food that they make. So come on, try it.
You have to eat all of it.
And she's like, is trembling as she takes a bite of it. And she's like, oh, this is amazing. This is the dish I was searching for. And then we get a tidbit on animal, like actual animal information.
If you are eating something at this point, I would advise you to put that down for a couple minutes.
So koalas, as it turns out, are not born being able to digest the toxic eucalyptus plant.
So they rely on their mothers for that.
Yep, they eat their mom's poop to get
yes.
undigested, like, eucalyptus to build up immunity to it.
Yeah.
So she's sitting there like, it came from my mom's butt.
The thing I was craving this whole time was my mom's ass.
Yep, and she ends up still eating it, but yeah.
And she tries to, like, get other people to try it too, and everyone's like, no. And Wolf Girl is like, come on. eat my dish, man. Eat it. Come on, eat it. You love it. I put so much love into it. And they're like, no.
And then that was the A plot, essentially.
And Koala Girl makes eucalyptus spaghetti, and it's really good.
Yeah. Even though...
It's toxic.
Yeah. Apparently, there's like a little disclaimer that they say that if you cook it enough, it's like not, but still you shouldn't.
Yeah, like, don't do that, guys.
And they end up doing the next episode, the roll call again, and all of a sudden there's a new character just standing there.
Just people just show up.
Yep, and she's a cat. She's a tsundere cat.
Yep. And she shows up and she gives her special cat mind control.
Yeah, because apparently purring awakens, like, a maternal instinct in creatures to, like, nurture.
Yeah.
But eventually she's like, hey, why don't you guys, like, quit this whole club and just kind of hang out with me? And they're like, no, we're not going to do that. And it's like, you can't get your way by purring.
We're not going to do that, dude.
And she gets mad and huffs off, and Wolf Girl finds a new student to join their club.
Hey!
Sloth.
Yes.
So this girl is a sloth. So
she is a sloth.
She's got like mold growing on her because apparently
it's moss.
Yeah, she's got moss growing on her, and apparently sloths actually eat the moss that grows on them.
Yeah, which is kind of gross.
I did like the running joke with us, like, and if the narrator's constantly, and if sloths do this, they die.
They die.
If they move too much, they die. If they eat something they're not familiar with, they die.
So that's how it goes. At first, main man is like, we're not
going to have her join the club because, like,
that.
Yeah, we're not going to force her to join, but then he has to, like, basically be the one to take care of her for a little bit, and she ends up actually, like, in her very slow way, thanking him for letting her join.
And anytime she, like, stands up or moves, they fast forward it 8 times.
Yeah, because they move, like...
She's very slow.
Yeah, so essentially they have to carry her if they want to get anywhere in any, like, suitable amount of time.
By the end of the day...
Sloths seem biologically terrible.
You know what? They are, which... Actually, something I know about sloths for whatever reason that's kind of interesting is, like, they even make shitty prey because they're really bony and have, like, lots of extra skin. So, like, they're not good to eat, which is why they survived.
Yeah.
The only reason sloths exist is because they're too shitty for anything else to eat. Because they would... Think about how fucking easy it is to catch a sloth. But he takes Sloth Girl to her apartment and takes care of her, and then there's a whole lot of running gags about her dying. So, like, don't put her in too hot of a bath because she will die.
Don't feed her anything that she's not, like, used to eating.
Because she will fucking die.
Don't have her move too quickly.
Or she dies.
But yeah, and it turns out the cat girl does join the club, but in her own way, where she kind of, like, brings them stuff like cats do.
Yeah.
She brings them, like, vegetables and all that.
They need fresh veggies and shit because they don't actually have a budget. So they go to the warhogs, and the warhogs are like, no. But then cat girl.
Helps out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good episode.
Sloth Girl is the best. She wins.
Inspectre.
A show that's actually, like, really good.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Another episode that we've seen, of course, I read the manga, so,
The final episode that we've officially seen.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
And in this episode, so it's already established that they're basically dating at this point.
Yeah.
And she ends up getting told by her yokai that there's a problem with a great snake up in the mountains. So she decides she's going to go visit that, and she wants her boyfriend to come with her, and of course he's just like, no. But he's like,
I made this soup and I want to eat it, so I can't go.
But here, I gave you some soup in a little travel mug, and here, and he sprays her with bug spray.
Oh, and what are you going up there dressed like that? You're going into the mountains. Here, take these rain boots and this jacket.
Yeah, because she's like dressed real fancy for it.
Which, you know what? You gotta give her credit. She's going to meet a great serpent. She dresses up nice.
And then she goes to the mountains and talks to the snake. And essentially, this is sort of the thing about the Inspector series after the first main arc, where it's a lot of short stories, sort of like mysteries of the characters trying to solve that they're not necessarily a part of. It's about hearing about other characters.
Yeah. So we hear about other characters.
Yeah, so apparently there was a body dumped into the snake's lake, and the snake wants to know why.
He doesn't get it, because he caught this woman dumping this body, and she says, I really hope they find you. And that kind of perplexes him.
So Kotoko tries to start giving him, like, reasons and examples for why this might be.
And every time, there's always some small detail that just kind of, it doesn't add up quite right.
Yeah. Essentially, the mystery revolves around this woman. She essentially kills I think it's the brother-in-law.
She kills, it's the owner of this company one of the higher ups of this construction company.
That drove a loved one of hers to death.
Yeah. He killed himself in the bathtub with another coworker who, her brother-in-law.
Yeah. It gets real complicated if we try to break down the mystery.
Yeah.
But that's the
her
deal with the episode.
Her boyfriend killed herself, so she moved out of the country, and then the dude shows up trying to apologize, and she kills him. That's it. That's the crux.
Yeah. And the snake's just confused about the whole thing and wants an answer.
Yeah. And you know what? He doesn't seem to be willing to accept just any old answer.
But it's fine with her because she has multiple. Because she's their god of wisdom.
Does she have multiple?
So she basically lays out several different scenarios for it.
She is even willing to shoot down her own previous examples.
And I mentioned this in the Anime New York video, but I like kind of how, because, again, this manga is essentially talking heads, but they do some nice little visual detail with the little yokai kind of going around, stuff like pulling on her, like, dress and, like, handing her things.
Yeah, they do enough in the background to make it visually interesting, which is fucking real good for an investigation series about people chatting.
And we see Koro show up, and he's, like, kind of watching in the background.
And then the yokai he took is like a little tracking yokai, escapes and forces him to reveal himself, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because basically because he does care. He's like a tsundere. He's a tsundere male where he acts like he doesn't care, but he does.
He does.
But it was a nice episode.
It is.
And now we're gonna get into the Steel Lady Nanase arc.
Yeah.
Which is gonna take up probably the majority of the show.
You know what? Probably.
Yeah.
So, finally, the last show on our list. Finally.
I hate getting hurt, so I put all my skill points into defense.
Shield Girl.
Yeah. The Rising of the Shield Girl.
So you guys like battle royales, right?
Yeah, we have another battle royale this week.
Another battle royale. Won by total defense.
Yeah. So
or third place by total defense.
She gets pulled into the battle royale, and she just keeps beating everybody because anyone who hits her dies instantly.
She basically gets the power to parry, devour things with her shield, and like emit tons of crazy poison.
People are watching too, and spectators in like the main hub world, and they're like looking on, and they're like, "Hey, isn't that kind of broken?" And I'm like, "Yes, patch that, developers."
Yeah. It's not kind of broken. It is a clear exploit.
Yeah. First of all, too, why is she the only one that can do this that no one else is like, hey, why don't I just do that build?
You know what?
Because that's how real gaming works. People find an OP build and then everyone just exploits it.
I think I remember them saying in the first episode that her armor is unique. Like, her armor and her shield, I think, are unique, so those are the only pairs.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you can, like look at everyone and,
it's still
just
busted
everyone jobs, and it's like, guys, come on, like, figure out, like, this is an RPG. Just figure out how to, like, min-max your stats.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
Because her friend ends up finally being able to play, because she gets third place in the Battle Royale, so everyone's now talking about her. And her friend can finally play. I do like how, again, this isn't like an isekai thing, so it's a game where we see them in school sometimes, like, talking about playing the game. And her friend's like, I can finally play. I'm going to make a swashbuckler. Because you'll focus all on defense, and I'll focus all on evasion.
So we will be literally unstoppable.
Which, that was the idea we came up with last week. Like, just pump dex so just you evade everything.
Nothing but dex.
And they go to a little cave to fish for shells so she can, like, Maple can get sort of, like, new equipment because she needs material.
Yeah, she needs a bunch of white scales for a new shield. And her friend needs to level up. Because
it took her 2 hours to get the fishing skill, and I'm like, wow, that's the first time I've actually seen a skill take time to get, whereas, like, all of Maple's skills, it's like, one thing attacked you, skill acquired.
You get poison... Guys, let's put this into perspective. Maple got poison resistance.
And then
like, base minimum level poison resistance after, like, maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah, and then she got, after one boss fight with a poison creature, poison immunity. Full-on immunity at, like, level 20.
It took 2 hours
for fishing.
to get fishing. And just nonstop fishing.
And then they go back every day for her to work on her swimming.
For weeks, so she can work on the swimming skill.
Yeah, it's like she got screwed, I guess, in like the luck stat department.
It is harder to learn how to swim in this game than it is to get poison immunity.
Yeah, so she ends up finding an underwater cave, and she's been working on like being able to dive longer. And she ends up finding a boss room, and she's like, all right, I'm going to go down there. I have 40 minutes. If I can beat the boss in 20, then we're all good.
So she's like, hey, give me Maple, put up a timer. Put that timer up on the clock.
Also, for an MMO, there's a lot of solo content in this.
There really is. I don't...
everyone goes into the dungeons and just solos bosses themselves.
I don't think they do. I think Maple does, because Maple's not smart.
Stella, our new character, went in and she soloed that which looked way harder. That looked way more intense.
Well, for her benefit, or to her benefit...
Also, apparently she's playing a swashbuckler, which is the hardest class to play in the game.
She is also a super elite gamer hacksaws, because we see at one point all kinds of gaming trophies on her shelf.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess she's just fucking elite, bro. Get on her level. Get good.
But apparently she can't make as OP of a build as her friend.
You know what? Maybe she just doesn't want to.
Wow, it turns out pumping defense and then just raising all your resistances makes you the perfect defense wall.
If you say we join an RPG and you do that, my next guess immediately is like, what other stats can I just max out ridiculous? Like
if you max out strength, are you just One Punch Man?
Yeah, like what if I just pump everything into one other stat? Just have like a shit ton of extra characters. See what happens when I pump nonstop stats into nonstop attributes.
Charisma.
Yeah.
In an MMO.
I will talk the boss to death. I will pump intelligence and just one-shot everything with magic. It's busted.
It is busted, and they need to patch it.
They need to patch this
New World Online needs a rework.
It does. But anyway.
Yep, so she has a really intense fight with an underwater creature, which is like,
It's cool to watch.
Yeah, it is cool. Like, she's like swimming at high speed. This thing's like a giant leviathan.
She's shooting like wind magic at it. And it actually reminded me a lot of it was Shadow of the Colossus, basically, that one underwater boss.
Yeah. And she ends up beating it and getting a bunch of cool gear, so now she has cool gear too.
Yeah, now we're both elite hacksaws gear.
And essentially what they do, because Maple's really slow because she has no dex, is she piggybacks on Stella.
Yeah, Stella has super high agility, she's wicked fast.
Yeah, so she's like her Chocobo.
She is now Chocobo girl.
Yep. But it was a good episode. Even though the game is absolutely bonkers and like in no way works like an actual game should.
They did not beta test anything.
Yeah.
But it's fun to watch.
Fun.
I like these characters.
All these shows are fun to watch.
Yeah.
Nothing has a death flag right now.
Exactly. I'd say the thing that's most shaky is Hatena Illusion, just because the animation dropped super hard episode 2.
And we still need to know what we're doing.
Yeah. But other than that, everything's pretty solid.
Yeah, like Show by Rock, pleasant surprise. Seton Academy got better.
Got better.
Yeah.
Sloth better.
So we'll see what happens. And if you want to see what happens, stick here with us.
Exactly.
If you're on YouTube, click that subscribe button maybe.
Maybe like the videos. Maybe leave a comment or something.
Let us know how we're doing.
If you subscribe and you make sure the notification bell is rung, you will get notifications when we upload new shit.
Yeah, and hey, maybe follow us on social media at Protagonist Seat on Twitter and Facebook, respectively.
Yeah, and if you want to listen to us on any other formats, i.e. iTunes, Spotify, Apple, Google Play Music, and or Deezer, then feel free to look us up on any of those pieces of media, because we're up there, dude. Yeah, we're up there.
We're everywhere.
We're everywhere. We're everywhere.
Anyway, this has gone on for pretty long. Let's kind of...
Hours pretty standard for us.
We're kind of pushing that point, but hey, we can wrap it up like a couple minutes early. So
yeah, we're out of bits.
We're out of bits.
You guys have a good day.
Yep, see you next week.